It's time for a word from Calhoune County. Hey, how y'all doing? It's time for another episode from Calhoune County. But this ain't about Charlie Calhoune. He's right now he's currently embroiled in a legal kind of thing. I better not say a whole bunch about it. He could end up behind bars. He was trying to do the right thing, but still, when you try to shoot the tires out of your pickup truck, it's being stolen. For some reason, the police seem to think that quantifies reckless endangerment. Anyhow, that's a story for another time. But this story is not about Charlie at all. It's about another character. We got a bunch of characters around here. That's the fun thing about living for a long time in a small community. You got a lot of characters. And this one particular character we have, he's gone now. He's passed on, unfortunately. But he is one of my favorite characters. He reminds me a lot of Dub Taylor, who was a character actor in the movies. Here's a little clip of him here. You can see what he looked like.
They make you feel happy, Buster?
Deal yourself, clown.
Dealer's flush. 194 official rules to you, friend.
That reminds me a whole lot of this fella. He was a farmer down the road, and one of his trademarks is he always had a toothpick in his mouth. You never saw him without a toothpick. Matter of fact, when he died, I think the undertaker stuck a toothpick in his cheek there, so it'd be there so people could recognize him. I don't think anybody would recognize him without that toothpick in his mouth. So anyhow, he was in the farm bureau with my mom and dad, and they were going to some kind of banquet thing up. It was up towards Glen Burnie, and which is, I don't know, it's not real far from here, but it'd take, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes or something to get up there. So they went and picked him up, and it was a kind of a fancy place. They had a place where you check your hats and coats, and they give you a little ticket and whatnot, and then they'd hang your coat up in the back and all that kind of stuff. So they had a good evening. It was fun. They enjoyed the meal, and everything was going fine until the time come to leave, and it come time to pick up your coat. Well, this particular character, his initials was KC. We'll just call him KC for this. He had just bought a real nice overcoat. I mean, a top of the line. He was proud of that thing. And the coat they handed back to him, he said was not his coat. It wasn't his overcoat. He knows daggone well it wasn't his overcoat. He said, "Look at this thing. This ain't my overcoat. I didn't give you this." He said, "Well, you give me the ticket, and this is the one that matches the ticket that you handed me." He said, "This ain't my coat. This ain't my blankety blank coat." He told me, no, it wasn't his coat, because there wasn't no toothpicks in the pocket. And every coat of his has toothpicks in the pocket, so it couldn't have been his coat. He knows it wasn't his coat. Anyhow, and he started going on and on about how much he'd spent on that coat. Oh, it was a fancy overcoat, and this ain't the overcoat he had, and daggone, somebody better not have stole his overcoat. What all he wasn't going to do, he stood there for about 10-15 minutes going on and on, reaming everybody up one side and down the other about them losing his overcoat. Somebody stole his overcoat. He spent a lot of money on that overcoat. That overcoat was worth a lot of money. It was a high dollar, high class one. Daggone, he spent a whole bunch of hard-earned money on that, and he went on and on and on. Well, they finally got him out the door. He wasn't happy at all. Kind of turned a nice evening sour. Because when this fella gets started on something, he tends to go on pretty long about it. So all the way home, poor mom and dad, and this poor man's wife too had to listen to it. My gracious, he did forevermore go on and on about what he was going to do to them people that stole his overcoat. I mean, you talk about a scorched earth policy. He had figured out by the time he got home some kind of legal strategy just to sue everybody from the hat check girl right on up through the wait staff to the people who owned it, the building, and the manager of the building, and all, and their ancestors on back to when they first came to this. I mean, he was fit to be tied. He just, man, that coat, it was a terrible thing to lose. He knew that wasn't his coat, and they knew it. He had stole his coat, and well, oh my goodness, what he wasn't going to do. Well, they finally got him to his house, and he got out the car, and finally, Mom and Dad got 5 or 10 minutes of quiet to ride home and try to get that indigestion out of their system before they got home. So finally, when they did get home, they walked in the house shaking their head about how KC had gone on so much about this thing. Well, they see that there's a message on their answering machine. So he walks over and presses the button, and who should it be but KC once again? Seems that when he went to the closet to hang up this no-count jacket that they had given him, he reached in there, and lo and behold, what should appear but his fine, fancy, high-dollar, brand-new, top-of-the-line overcoat still hanging there. It turns out that when he had left, he was in a hurry, and he reached in there and he had grabbed his grandson's suit jacket and put that on over top of his own suit jacket. And he didn't notice it was late and it was dark. He run out there, and the dad did say that when they were walking in, he looked and he was thinking to himself, doggone, that's the shortest overcoat I ever saw in my life. But he didn't think no more about it. But anyway, he went on and he felt pretty foolish. He did. He felt pretty foolish about that. Going on and on. And to his credit now, he had a good attitude. I believe he even called the place up there, the management, and apologized to him and everything. But oh my golly, just to hear Dad tell that story the next day, it was really funny. Dad could tell a story way better than me. He was a good storyteller. But old KC, he never lived that down. We tell that story over and over again. It never gets old. Oh my golly. Whew. He did forevermore go on. Oh shoot. But he was a good old soul. We miss him. Really do. Anyhow, ain't much of a story, but maybe some of you find it a little bit amusing. We'll catch you later. See you.